The space station called the Crucible smelled like hot metal and old smoke. Captain Eli Vance noticed the smell the second his cargo ship, the Wandering Prophet, locked into one of the outer docking clamps. The metal arms grabbed his ship with a loud clang, as if even the station did not fully trust visitors. Eli had not planned to come here. He had been aiming for a quiet trade hub near Kepler's second moon, a place where the biggest problem was arguing over shipping prices. But his navigation computer had glitched during a hyperspace jump. Instead of arriving at a boring and safe port, he ended up drifting in front of a giant ring-shaped station that looked worn, dark, and slightly dangerous. "This is fine," he muttered, pulling on his old brown jacket. "Refuel. Fix the computer. Leave." Inside the station, nothing felt normal. The corridors were dim. The walls were scratched and dented. Strange holographic signs flashed above him in languages he could not read. Crowds filled the halls. Aliens of every shape and size hurried past him, excited and loud. Vendors shouted about food that moved on its own. A floating merchant sold drinks that glowed purple. Somewhere nearby, a large screen showed two armored fighters locked in combat while the crowd cheered. Eli frowned. "That's not good." He stepped into a bar with a flickering sign above the door that read "The Last Breath." Inside, the lights were low. The air smelled like strong alcohol and something slightly burned. A huge alien bartender handed him a glass filled with amber liquid. "Tournament day," the bartender said through a translator device. "The Crucible Games." Eli sipped the drink. It tasted terrible. On the large screen above the bar, a list of names appeared. One name stood out. When it appeared, the entire bar went quiet. Kifar. Eli did not know the name, but everyone else did. The screen shifted to the arena. A tall woman stepped forward under bright lights. She looked almost human, but not quite. Her silver hair was tied back. Her pointed ears swept up from her head in a graceful curve. She wore simple combat clothing, no heavy armor, and moved with calm confidence. "She's undefeated," someone whispered. Her opponent, a huge armored alien, charged at her. The fight lasted less than a minute. Keith moved like a storm. Every strike was exact. Every movement smooth. She knocked her opponent down and walked away without even looking back. Eli finished his drink quickly. "I should leave," he said to himself. He had just stepped into the corridor when a floating administrative drone blocked his path. "Congratulations, fighter Eli Vance of Earth," it said brightly. "You are registered for tomorrow's match." Eli blinked. "I'm what?" "Your ship confirmed participation during docking intake. Waivers signed. Payment processed. Next of kin notified." "I don't even have." But the drone had already floated away. The next morning, Eli stood in the arena. He wore basic protective gear that felt thin and useless. Across from him stood Keith Farr. Up close, she looked even more dangerous. Her golden eyes studied him calmly. She did not look angry. She did not look excited. She looked bored. The signal sounded. She moved instantly. Eli did not try to fight her. He ran. The crowd gasped as he dove behind a rising stone pillar. He kicked a steam vent, sending hot vapor into the air. He scrambled over energy barriers. He slipped, rolled, and barely avoided her strikes. "Are you running?" Keith called out. "Yes," he shouted back. "I'm very committed to survival." She almost smiled. He threw sand at her face. He apologized when he did it. He tripped over his own feet and scrambled backward on the ground. At one point, she pinned him to the arena floor, her fist raised. Eli looked up at her. "Your hair looks great today," he blurted out. "That braid really suits you." The arena went silent. Her fist stopped inches from his face. "What did you say?" she asked slowly. "I'm just saying," he continued nervously, "if I'm going to be defeated, I might as well compliment the champion." For the first time, something changed in her expression. She laughed. It was quick, sharp, and completely real. No one in the arena had heard that sound in years. The fight continued, but differently now. She tested him instead of destroying him. He dodged badly. He blocked weakly. He kept talking. He joked. He admitted he was terrible at fighting. 3 minutes passed. Finally, she swept his legs and knocked him down again. She stood over him. "You are the worst fighter I have ever faced," she said. "Thank you," he wheezed. She studied him for a long moment. Then she stepped back. She walked to the center of the arena and spoke to the officials. Moments later, the announcement echoed through the stadium. By voluntary forfeit, the winner is Eli Vance of Earth. The crowd erupted in confusion. Eli lay on the floor, staring at the ceiling. "That doesn't feel accurate," he muttered. Later, after medical treatment for cracked ribs and a sprained ankle, Eli returned to his ship. Kaithvar was waiting beside the airlock. "You made me laugh," she said calmly. "I'm glad my near-death experience was entertaining." "In my culture," she continued, "a true defeat is when someone breaks your certainty. You did that." "I did not defeat you. You defeated my boredom." She stepped closer. "I want to travel with you." Eli stared at her. "You're a legendary warrior." "And you are not," she replied. "You treat me like a person, not a weapon. I would like to experience more of that." "This is insane," he said. "Yes," she agreed. He looked at his old ship, his quiet life, the endless lonely trade routes. Then he looked back at her. "If I say yes, you have to promise not to crush me accidentally." "I will attempt restraint." He hesitated only 1 second longer before nodding. "Fine. But you're helping fix the navigation computer." She smiled faintly. They boarded the Wandering Prophet together. As the ship pulled away from the Crucible and jumped into hyperspace, Eli felt something he had not felt in years. Not fear. Not boredom. Possibility. He had arrived by accident. He was leaving by choice. And this time, he was not alone.